Thank you for that introduction. Again, I've been with Senior Vice President Precisely, been with Precisely for about a decade now, helping our customers with their data challenges. And we're having a lot of conversations with our customers about their AI strategies. AI is moving very fast, as we all know. But for most companies, data required to support their agentic AI just isn't ready. So today I'll walk through quickly the gap we're seeing, why it matters now, and how organizations are closing that gap with agentic ready data. So there's a lot of convergent forces happening today, right? All you need to do is open your favorite news app and see geopolitical shifts, war in the Middle East, new operating models, new economic uncertainty and sustainability pressures that all require faster and more intelligent decisions. And AI has the potential to help unlock that decision making and unlock trillions of values in projected or trillions of dollars in projected value. But despite that hype, about 95% of AI initiatives are still failing to deliver measurable revenue growth. And the reason's pretty clear, right? 72% of executives cite data management as the top barrier to scaling AI. The teams that prioritize their data strategy will thrive, while those who don't will fall behind. And that's the divide, or the opportunity, that we're addressing at Precisely, helping companies move from experimentation to execution and achieving data integrity required to power AI that truly impacts the business. Right. Agentic AI is fundamentally changing how work gets done across every part of the enterprise. That's what's different now is just that AI isn't just generating content or answering questions. It's that agents are taking action. The agents are interpreting signals, making decisions, and autonomously executing workflows that span across multiple systems. And that shift is transforming the expectations people have within the organization, right? In product and development, agents are synthesizing customer feedback, turning it into requirements, generating code, testing that code, and then monitoring it in production. The velocity and the expectation that comes with that is permanently changed. In service and support, autonomous agents are resolving frontline issues, escalating only what matters, summarizing cases, detecting customer churn risk before the customer even reaches out. GA functions like HR, finance, and legal are relieving a lot of the operational load through these agents, automating invoicing, answering employee questions, reviewing contracts, and it's shrinking cycle times across the business. And finally, in IT and security, kind of in some of the most mission critical areas, agents are watching the environment continuously, resolving issues, triaging threats and tickets, and enforcing policies and containing incidents before they spread. Across all of these functions, the common thread is speed, autonomy, and the need to trust the decisions these agents are making. Which brings us to the urgency to make data ready for these high-stake use cases. And I think Shranti mentioned that in the previous session about data quality underpinning a lot of these things, right? If agentic AI is going to operate in real time and in high-stakes use cases like financial approvals or identity governance or production systems, the data feeding those agents has to be ready. Otherwise, the agents will act quickly, but not correctly. And when we say agentic AI is changing the game, I think what we really mean is it's creating immediate pressure for organizations to modernize, manage, and govern their data because autonomous decisions can't wait for slow, messy, or incomplete data. Agentic AI isn't just accelerating workflow or work, it's accelerating the consequences of bad data and the benefits of getting it right. So what we're seeing is a consistent gap between the promise of the agentic AI and the data most organizations are actually working with, the reality of the data they have on hand today. For most, the data required to power agentic AI can be still hard to access, scattered across hybrid and legacy systems, maybe some in the cloud, some in an ERP, and lacking context, those systems need to make decisions autonomously. Even when data is available, it's often incomplete or outdated, can be backward-looking, periodic, or inconsistent across systems. And that creates blind spots, making it difficult for AI agents to act with confidence. There's also growing risk issues. As AI becomes more autonomous, enterprises need traceability, verification, and governance built in. But many data environments aren't that mature to give that level of control. And finally, there's a cost factor, right? Not only the cost of running AI, but the cost of getting your data ready, right? Data integrity work traditionally relies on heavy manual processes and specialized skills, which can make it expensive and hard to scale. All of this adds up to what we call the agentic AI data integrity gap. I've been talking to the marketing team about trying to trademark AAIDIG, but nobody will listen to me on that. But anyway, the agentic AI data integrity gap is the gap between where enterprises are today and what's required to really safely and effectively power agentic AI at scale. So to close that gap, enterprises need a new playbook built for the demands of today's agentic AI. At Precisely, we've identified 6 principles that define what it takes to have agentic-ready data. Together, they form a framework that ensures unified, enriched, real-time, and efficient data. All these are the essential qualities for powering AI systems at scale. It starts with unifying your data, connecting all your first-party data from across your hybrid IT landscape, so you have a single trusted foundation that's discoverable. Next, you can gain an enrichment edge by adding authoritative third-party attributes and location context that gives depth to your data and new meaning to your data. And then you want to make sure this data is continuously refreshed and is operating in the now, so that every agent decision runs on information that's current and complete. Fourth, you want to shape your data for purpose, tailoring and delivering the right data in the right context for every AI workflow and decision. Fifth, you want to govern it with confidence. You need to apply the right guardrails. You need to have trust scores and governance scores around these things, and traceability so that you can make your AI responsible. And then finally, you want to lower your cost structure. As I mentioned, automate a lot of the manual work and replace fragmented tools with all-in-one suites that allow you to scale efficiently and performantly. These principles are the blueprint for closing that agentic AI data integrity gap, and that's what Precisely is helping our customers with. We'll just talk about Precisely for a moment. Simon mentioned we're the leader in data integrity. We combine software, data, and data strategy services to deliver trusted data for our customers. And that's data that's accurate, consistent, and contextual, so they can power confident business decisions. We're the largest independent solution provider, and so we offer unmatched flexibility and objectivity to help organizations unlock the full value of their data. Again, we've got about 12,000 customers globally, work with 95 of the Fortune 100. You see some of the brands we work with here in Europe, as well as the data leaders that we partner with. So all the hyperscalers, ServiceNow, Snowflake, Databricks, as you would expect. Our customers are making big investments into these platforms, and we're helping them get the most out of that. And we do that with our data integrity suite, which is a kind of architecture picture of. And if I think about this picture from the bottom up, the suite brings Precisely's data management capabilities together as an interoperable cloud service that works within your existing tech stack. Again, maybe some of those technology partners I mentioned, or maybe some legacy technology you've got on premise as well. It has a common foundation, a layer that connects and accelerates all of the services through shared metadata. And that common foundation also manages essentials like security and accessing and processing of data, cataloging data, managing if and how you use AI to improve and automate the control over that data and the management of that data. And it has a set of integrated capabilities that span data integration, data observability, data governance and quality, geo-addressing, data enrichment, and spatial analytics. And really, a lot of these capabilities or functional areas used to be independent from each other. You'd buy a data integration tool, you'd buy an observability tool, maybe a separate governance and quality tool, and hope they all work together or pay a system integrator a lot of money to make them all work together. Really, we see it more like a set of capabilities, and different use cases, depending on what you need in your business, requires different capabilities. And there's really a blending of a lot of these capabilities that have come together. And you can access all of these capabilities through our UI, obviously, more and more via MCP server or APIs, or through a guided experience using our agents, our agent called Geo, which is the suite's AI assistant, or a growing set of specialized agents that you can interact with. And again, these data is managed wherever your data lives, if it's on-premise, in the cloud, or across both. So you can deliver consistent data integrity across your entire data ecosystem. And you can start wherever's most important to you and expand as you need. Not a big platform. You have to do everything all at once. So that's helping us help our customers make the shift today from the status quo to what we call that agentic ready data. Organizations, as I talked about before, are stuck in that gap by data that's trapped, incomplete, outdated, inconsistent, maybe non-compliant, and very expensive to manage. It may support reporting or experimentation with AI, but it isn't built for autonomous real-time decisioning. If you think about it, agentic ready data is different. It's unified across all your hybrid and legacy systems, enriched with context that agents need to act. It's continuously refreshed, and it's governed end to end. And that shift from disconnected data to data that's ready for action is what can enable your agentic AI to operate at confidence and at scale. And that's what we're designed to help with, right? Some other important elements to consider: maximizing the context, right? As we bring together all that data across your systems, including maybe SAP, IBM, mainframe, into a unified foundation, you can enrich that with authoritative third-party data and location context so that the agents have deeper insight and deeper meaning behind that data. And that can empower business users with intuitive tools to perfect that data without having to rely on specialized teams. Next, we want to allow you to maximize the usage of that data, right? To help you define the data integrity logic once and apply it everywhere that data lives in your estate, right? And so that through APIs, you can deliver the data that's in the right context at the right time, with built-in governance and lineage and compliance to make sure that everything operates responsibly and at scale. And again, that can extend your data integrity across any AI ecosystem, model, or use case. And then finally, we want to help minimize the effort. Data integrity is delivered through a unified SaaS built on a common platform, so you can connect once and do many different things with that data. We have embedded AI features that will help you automate manual processes, reduce reliance on specialized skills. And again, we have built-in recommendations that will guide your best practices and elevate your team's performance. And again, start where you are and grow at your own pace. And so together, these are the three pillars of how we deliver agentic AI-ready data that's unified, enriched, real-time, and efficient. And we're seeing this isn't limited to one industry or one type of use case. It's becoming a common foundation of how organizations operate. I'll just highlight a couple of these. In insurance, right, teams are using AI to dynamically model risk, automate claims, detect fraud in real time, and in retail, it's powering customer behavior predictions, smarter site selection, inventory optimization by combining transaction data with location data and signal demands. In telecom, right, it supports network optimization, outage prediction, and churn prevention by connecting operational data with customer context in real time. And in financial services, it enables risk and compliance automation and AI-driven customer advising, all while maintaining strict governance. So different industries, different use cases, but with the same pattern. When data is unified, enriched, real-time, and governed, agentic AI can drive smarter decisions at scale. And next, I'll show you how a couple of customers are using AI-ready data for their use cases. Again, I'll just highlight a few of these. Citizens Bank is building AI-driven customer experiences and that's they've unlocked the data that previously sat on their mainframe, replicating it to AWS, and that allows them to use that transaction data as they build those customer experiences. They've also lowered their mainframe costs in the process. Generali Real Estate increased the accuracy of their ML models with precisely places data. DoorDash, and we don't have that in the UK, but think Deliveroo or Uber Eats, they improved speed and deliverability, making their customers happier, making what they call their dashers happier, those delivery guys and gals happier because they delivered the thing quicker, and also delivered 65 million in annual savings for DoorDash. So where you go from here really depends on where you are in your data journey. Great place to start is to define your first use case, one where you can make an immediate measurable impact by, improving the data quality, automating the governance, or accelerating that AI performance. From there, we'd love to show you our suite in action, let you see exactly how we unify, enrich, and govern your data for your AI-ready outcomes. Then we can help with a readiness assessment to see how your current data landscape can support your AI ambitions and where your biggest opportunities are. And that's how we start you on the path to agentic-ready AI data. And with that, I'd like to thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions you have. Love to hear if you feel like your data can be trusted for the AI use cases. I don't see, I'll need to find the chat if there is one here, Simon.
Thank you so much indeed, Jay, for a really informative
Yeah.
presentation there. I know we had a lot of interest and a lot of questions. So let's jump straight to them. I do believe if anyone has got any questions, by all means, we do endeavour you to use the Q&A chat and we'll try and come to those. I suppose let's look at organisations. How do they validate the reliability of data being used by autonomous agents in real time?
Yeah, so your questions around how they validate data in real time.
Yes.
So again, there's several ways you can do it. Historically, customers have tried to measure data quality and then, but nowadays customers also use observability to once they get the data to a state where it is ready for specific use cases, they want to measure that over time with observability, right? They want to know in real time if something has changed, if the schema has drifted. If it's not up to date, you expect up to date information every X minutes or hours, and that hasn't happened, right? And so rather than being reactive, I can remember in the old days when as a consumer of data, saying, "Hey, my Tableau dashboard's wrong," right? And now people don't have to wait for the end user to realize it didn't refresh or something's gone awry. You can observe it in real time where it lives. The other big shift around data quality between now and 5 years ago for sure, 10 years ago for sure, is data can be measured where it lives in Snowflake, in Databricks, and Redshift, or wherever it lives, in Oracle on premise. You don't have to, in the old days, data integrity or data quality tools ingested a lot of data, moved it or created a copy, built business rules around that, spit something out at the other side. Now it runs where it lives. You don't have to create copies, you don't have to move it around, and that's certainly a huge benefit to our customers and to everybody in the space, really.
Thank you so much for the question and answering that one. I wondered,
Okay.
do you see a future where agentic AI systems can self-correct data integrity issues? And if so, what would it take to get there?
Yeah, I mean, we're experimenting with that now, right? I mentioned we've got a set of AI agents we've built on top of the suite, right? That will help guide, uh, identify issues and recommend solutions. We're typically not at a place where our customers want us to go back and fix issues at source. But if we are in a process where we're moving data, we may be correcting it or enriching it as it moves, right? But if we're talking about a general ledger or something as a source, we're typically not going back. And I don't think agents will go back and change things at source, but will highlight issues and correct them as they flow through other business processes and systems. So I think that's the more likely in the near future that agents will correct things as it flows, but probably not edit source data.
Thank you so much indeed. If anyone has any other questions, by all means, do use the Q&A with Jay Riley, the Senior Vice President at our Platinum sponsor, Precisely today. Jay, lastly then, can I just ask, what role does governance play in preventing data, say, drifting with corruption in these systems?
Yeah, the governance, I've been in governance for years and it's had a few moments. One was GDPR, and the other is around the EU AI Act, or there's other similar acts around the world, Singapore, Australia. I know I'm familiar with specifically, where there is a requirement if you're going to be using data to power these use cases, power these agent use cases, you have to know the quality of it, where it's come from. It has to be owned by somebody. There has to be a responsible party for that, right? So I've seen governance programs in organizations um, become much more mission critical than ever before. Because again, it is, and I think again, Shranti mentioned this, it is sort of the foundation of doing a lot of this work. That data quality and governance is absolutely required for what the board wants to talk about, right? The board wants to talk about AI. How can it help me generate more revenue? How can it help me save money, have cost savings? I was on a panel a few weeks ago at a data event, and some of the questions we got were around how do I manage my board or my C-level expectations around AI with the regulatory constraints and the constraints I talked about that AI, the data gap, right? And it struck me it's a conversation we could have had 10 years ago around data lakes when we were doing Cloudera and Hortonworks, and there was a huge expectation around that. And how do we, should it be federated? Should it be centralized? How do I manage my stakeholder expectations, right? So the technology's moved on. A lot of the challenges we face as data practitioners haven't moved on. It's the same questions we've got in a new context.
Perfect. Thank you so much indeed for all our questions from our from the floor, and also for your
Cool.
presentation today, Jay. It's been a pleasure being in your company, and
Thanks, Simon. I
thanks again for
appreciate
a
it.
keynote. It's a pleasure. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers. I appreciate that too.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much indeed. There, Jay Riley, Senior Vice President at Precisely, our platinum sponsor there, coming down to discuss data integrity for Agentic AI.